Hello and welcome to the Fish Out of Water podcast. You're here with me, Matt, Isaac, and Alex. And today is a special day because we are kicking off our season 2 of the podcast. We're making some big changes on social media. Make sure to follow us on all the new platforms. And without further ado, today we're going to be going over the free agency moves and some of the trades in the NFL, as well as the bottom teams in the West from 8 to 15 that we haven't covered yet. So with that, I'll hand this over to Isaac. What are your thoughts on the Deshaun Watson reports of him being traded to the Browns?
So let's stay away. I think Alex and I were talking before. We want to stay away from all the law stuff. That's far beyond our knowledge. But to get into just football, great move. I think this is definitely the move you make. And especially as a Rams fan, I know for a fact that trading away picks for valuable stars will take you further. And getting a guy like Deshaun Watson, who is a perennial top 5 quarterback before all the civil law stuff happening, 3 first-round picks is a lot, but I would do it in a heartbeat, especially considering that your other options, Baker Mayfield for another year, which was not good, which hasn't been that good outside of that one COVID year. But great move from the Browns. I think it just makes the AFC even tougher to compete in. We're going to talk about some other teams, but wow, Browns making a power play with Deshaun Watson, assuming that he plays the entire year. I think the Browns are probably the best team in their division now. And I don't know if they're in the same tier as the Broncos, Chargers, and Raiders and Chiefs, but they're certainly not far from it.
No, I think if Watson plays the whole season, they are for sure in that, they're at least, I think they'd be in the top 3 or 4 as contenders in the AFC, because before last season, Watson, you could argue, was a top 5 quarterback in the league. So, I think it's a great move by the Browns. 3 first-round picks and a fully guaranteed contract, that's never been seen before. But when you have a win-now roster like the Browns and you're in such a quarterback heavy conference, the AFC now is the quarterback talent in the AFC has it's greatest ever. The amount of talent is ridiculous. So you need that elite quarterback. So I think ultimately the Browns got their guy, and for the future.
Yeah, 100% agree. There's not much more we could say. Deshaun Watson as an upgrade from Baker Mayfield, you do it. It doesn't matter how much you pay him. Deshaun's that guy. He's only 26, I believe. He's got a long ways to go. Perfect move by the Browns. And honestly, even with the legal stuff, let's say he doesn't play 10, 12 games this year, it really doesn't matter because you're still going to have him for the next, however many years, because he's still under contract. Great move by the Browns. I saw they cleared up some cap space, so we know that they have Amari Cooper now. I think that'll be a really good duo. Defensively, they're still going to be there. So, I definitely see them as a team who can run at championships in the AFC.
Yeah. And making the move for Amari Cooper, great move. I hope they bring back Jarvis Landry because without Amari Cooper, they are kind of lacking a receiver. But look, great move. You still have Chubb, Hunt. I don't know if the O-line's been good this year or this past year, but historically they have been elite. So I'm just going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Deshaun Watson's finally in a good situation. He doesn't have Bill O'Brien as his head coach. He actually has a competent head coach. And I don't know if we can confidently say that the Browns are a competent franchise yet, because it's only been 2 or 3 years that they've had some success. But they are trending in the right direction. This is Deshaun Watson's automatically the greatest quarterback in history, and he hasn't even played a single minute yet, which is kind of crazy to say. But making that kind of move, the NFL is all about quarterbacks now. You got to just go get it, and they made the right move.
100% with you. And with that, we'll move on to the next bombshell trade that came out of Kansas City to Miami in Tyreek Hill. Wow, what a move. I have to be honest, I was completely shocked. What were your thoughts?
Well, for me, I like it kind of for both teams. Like, I thought it was a good move for both teams, especially honestly, like the Chiefs have gotten like backlash, but in terms for the Chiefs at least long term, this is actually like a really good move for the Chiefs. They got a haul of picks. They can really rebuild this roster. And let's be honest, when you have Mahomes and Andy Reid, the offense will always be elite. Like that's just the truth. Anywhere with Andy Reid, the offense is gonna be fine. So I see no issues in terms of giving up Tyreek Hill because you can totally rebuild this roster because this roster has real like serious holes. And although they might not be like serious contenders this year, like but 2023 and on, I feel like they could be serious threats and back in play to win championships. As for the Dolphins, this just puts pressure on Tua, which I really like because this will like show if they have their guy. Because if Tua struggles this season, they got to like do something next year. So they have Tyreek Hill, an offensive head coach. They have this. They rebuilt the O line totally. Now it's like a solid O line with like the signing of Teron Armstead, which was a great signing. So this just puts pressure on Tua, and it'll let the Dolphins know if they got their guy this year.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. That trade, I actually think the Chiefs made a really, really smart move. Of course, like as fans, we're like, oh, why would you trade Tyreek and like do this to Mahomes? But they pulled a complete Belichick. They traded a player whose value was high, who was 30 years old now and only going to get older for a pick so that they could rebuild an offense around Mahomes. Because the truth is, the lifetime of a receiver is not as long as a quarterback. Mahomes has another 15 years of play in him. If you just run it out with Tyreek and pay him, then the rest of the roster is going to fall short. And we know when you draft players, you pay them significantly less than like a superstar. So I thought it was a really wise move by the Chiefs. I don't think they'll be as good this year or maybe the next year. They'll definitely still be in the mix. They just might not be at the top. But 3-4 years from now, this is a great long-term move. I think it was really smart on both sides. And like you said, this is completely on Tua now. Is Tua the guy? That's what the Dolphins have to figure out because you got two of the fastest receivers in the league, arguably, in Waddle and Tyreek on each side. You know, you have a competent tight end. You still have Devontae Parker still there. So, I mean, I love the move for both sides. This is just going to be – it just makes the AFC so much more fun.
Dude, I mean, I get what you're saying with the sell high, but for Kansas City, I don't think you'll ever get a receiver like Tyreek Hill ever again in that tier. You know, Tyreek is not, if not the best receiver in the league, he's number 2. And he's probably the most dangerous non-quarterback player on offense in the last 5 years. And he's responsible for that Bills game. For that Bills game, he was like 60% of the reason why they were able to somehow win. And I get the sell high thing, but I don't know. If I was trying to rebuild this roster, I would have tried to build it with Tyreek Hill. You know, you can always find another offensive lineman. You can find someone else on defense. You can find a corner, but you'll never find someone like Tyreek. You know, never.
Yeah, but $30 million a year for a receiver.
Yeah, they
for
wouldn't
a
be able to
game.
sign
$million.
He's not just a receiver though. He is not the best, the second best receiver in the league. And he's a game-changing player on offense. Given
you don't need an elite receiver with Mahomes though. Like with elite quarterbacks like Mahomes, you just need like a solid wide receiving core. You don't need
to be
like one elite receiver.
Okay, but now look at the receiving core. Their number 1 is Juju Smith-Schuster, who can't play on the outside to save his life.
Okay, Kelsey.
Okay, outside of
Kelsey.
Travis Kelce, like who do they have? Mecole Hardman.
They can draft a receiver. Yeah, Hardman's not bad.
He's awful.
Like,
He's not
great, but it's competent.
It is not competent.
If they draft a receiver, it would be.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
I think it's better to evaluate this trade after seeing what Kansas City does to make up for receiver and how they use those draft picks, because they did get like what was it, 5 draft picks for Tyreek Hill, which is a lot. It's just I don't think they're going to be able to get a game changer like Tyreek again, you know. And given his age and stuff like that, like I understand like where you guys are coming from, but I would have tried to re-sign Tyreek. I would have tried to rebuild the roster with Tyreek Hill. It's not just Patrick Mahomes getting the team. Like, it's Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce, you know?
I mean, Isaac, I'm totally with you because we know what Tyreek represents. But let's say they did pay him $30 million a year.
Yeah.
4 years from now, when Tyreek starts to fall off, they're not going to have any money to even try to get receivers or build out the rest of the roster. And Mahomes is going to be stuck with nothing for at least 3-4 years to climb out of the hole. So it's like what they did is they basically just instead of going through that problem, they decided to take like 2 years where the receiving core is below average. Honestly, the receiving core is not good. Like, Juju McCole-Hardman is not good enough, even though you do have Kelce, but you can manage. And then they have to draft for the future.
Okay, but I don't know. We're seeing these, like, they're not a contender to me anymore. I mean, I won't say that it's impossible for them to make the Super Bowl, but like, I don't know if I'm taking them over Buffalo. I don't know if I'm taking them over the Broncos or the Chargers, or even, okay, I won't go as far as saying the Raiders, but even the Browns. I just don't know if they're in that tier anymore, given their situation now.
It's
Unless they flip it around with drafting amazing this year, which is possible, but the way things look right now, I'm just not too optimistic.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, but the thing is like I agree, Isaac, but like you got to realize, like, with, like, I get this win now mentality, like, but like Mahomes is not an aging quarterback. Like, Mahomes is still young, so you want to prolong the window you want to win. So if you take one down year this year, I really don't think I really think that's just a better move, because you want to really like have, like, because like if you re-sign Tyreek, your window is probably only the next 2-3 years, because you can't, because you have to, because like, dude, this roster is like really regressing, especially defense, like on the defensive side of the ball. Like Justin Reed is not no Tyrann Mathieu. Like, I know they brought him in to replace him, but he's not no Matthew. Like, this defense is like gonna start to regress, and you need those picks to rebuild this defense as well.
Yeah, no doubt. But I think a big part of Kansas City's identity for the past 5 years, and a big reason why they've been so successful, is because of Tyreek Hill. Now I think Kansas City has to, I mean, you do still have the coach and you still do have the quarterback, but I think they do have to start reshaping their identity, without Tyreek
You also
Hill.
do have to acknowledge, if there's any year to have a down year, this is the perfect year, because the AFC is loaded. Like, this is the hardest year to come out of the AFC.
Yeah.
Especially the AFC West.
I mean, like, I get the long-term investment thing, but I think you should always be looking to win, always.
Yeah, F them picks. All right, and with that, we'll move on to the next big. We have a few smaller topics in the NFL free agency moves, and the next one being Matt Ryan, who, via multiple reports, is now on the Colts. So how do you guys feel about that trade?
That's a beautiful trade for the Colts, honestly. They've been looking for a competent quarterback for 5 years now, since Andrew Luck retired. And, Matt Ryan felt right into the lap. He's definitely not an elite quarterback anymore, but he's by far a lot better than Carson Wentz. He's better than Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers. Like, last season, Phillip Rivers. Matt Ryan is definitely automatically the best quarterback they've had since Andrew Luck. And they only had to give up a third-round pick, And part of that's like situation. The Falcons are trying to rebuild. Great move, I think. Matt Ryan, just gonna elevate that franchise, and it's just another reason why the AFC is now crazy, crazy good. And with this move, I think they win the division, personally.
Yeah, I mean, it was the best option left. Like, he was probably the best realistic quarterback left outside of the draft. I mean, this roster is the win now roster, so I think bringing in like a quarterback like Matt Ryan, it'll definitely like help them win the division, which, let's be honest, like, that's the division that's like easily winnable. If they were in like the AFC North, I'd be like, Matt Ryan's probably not the best move, because like you probably can't get out of the division with Matt Ryan and that roster, probably not. So that's why, like, for the division they're in, I like the move because it'll help them probably win the division. I'd probably take them over Tennessee. And once you get to the playoffs, just go from there. Like, anything's possible for with that roster, with that run game, with that O-line, with that defense, it just like increases their ceiling much higher than, like Wentz at least.
I'm with you too. I think Matt Ryan as a fit too is perfect because the way the Colts play is they're a big RPO team. They rely on their O-line, and it's a lot of deep slants to, Pittman and what was TY and all of them. So putting Matt Ryan in that situation is perfect because Jonathan Taylor is going to take a lot of stress off of him. He's going to be really protected with that O-line, and he is an extremely competent quarterback in the way that he can make those deep throws that the Colts love to play with. So I love the fit. I think they win their division. I see them in the playoffs next year. It was a great move.
Yeah, great move.
All right, and with that, we can move on to the next one, which is a little bit of a bigger topic in Devonta Adams. Personally, this one absolutely shocked me. And for those of you who don't know, Devonta Adams is a Raider, a Las Vegas Raider. So what were your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know what. It's just there's no consistency here with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I thought Aaron Rodgers wanted to win. What's up with this? Remember last year when he posted like the last dance or whatever? Like, I thought it was the last season for him because he wanted to win. But you take that kind of money and now you can't sign the best receiver in football or the second best receiver in football. And now you're stuck. And you lost MVS too, by the way, who got overpaid by Kansas City. I forgot to mention that. But like, now what? I can't believe they lost Devonta Adams for a first and a second. I know the Raiders have to pay that massive contract. I think, is Devonta Adams the highest paid receiver in history now?
Yeah.
Oh, Tyreek.
Oh, yeah. Tyreek came second.
Okay, but it's still a massive amount of money. And like, I get that. I get why. Since you're paying him all that money, you don't have to give up as much. But wow, like Devonta Adams, like Tyreek Hill, is a game changer. He is a one given any situation. And, we've been complaining. It feels like Aaron Rodgers has been complaining, wow, you don't give me any help. Well, because you took that kind of money, now you don't have any help. You kind of did it to yourself. So,
but it's not about that though.
Puzzling move for me from the Packers. I would have tried to like, if you're trying to keep Aaron Rodgers, why not just keep Devonta Adams too? And I just didn't think it was a good move for the Packers. From the Raiders' perspective, I think it's great. Derek Carr has never had a receiver like Devonta Adams, and considering how good their division has gotten this summer, they had to upgrade. I think having a guy like Devonta Adams and Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller, it just makes your offense that much better. Derek Carr is, he is on the outside of the top 10 to me, but he's still a very, very competent quarterback.
Derek
Raiders
Carr.
Defense was elite last year. Max Crosby stepping up, and then they signed Chandler Jones. Like, I think this is a great move from the Raiders. They're instantly in the mix with that division. I think it was a great move from the Raiders. I was a little confused with what the Packers were doing here.
I mean, I'm confused what the Packers are doing, but like, I also get it. Like, $28-30 million is a lot of money for a non-quarterback, if we're being honest. Like, so like, I get it. You get a haul of picks, maybe taking a shot. They got 2 first-round picks. Maybe spend both. They low-key probably spend both of them on receiver. Hopefully one of them hits, So there definitely is a game plan where like the Packers can sort of like rebuild these weapons. But honestly, like, it's kind of risky during like the prime of Aaron Rodgers' career to sort of like rebuild the weapons. I mean, they could probably try to sign Julio and then draft 2 receivers. Like, that's the only like way I see them really like rebuilding this receiving core. But honestly, like, this probably pulls the Packers out of like Super Bowl contention, but they probably still win the division because the division still sucks. So they probably.
I mean, you're taking the Packers over the Vikings.
Yeah, for sure. 100% for sure.
Honestly, Vikings made some moves I really like this offseason, so I think that's going to.
I think the Packers' offense is going to be like average, at best.
No. They still have an elite run game, and they still have Aaron freaking Rodgers, bro.
They're still
They're
going to
gonna
go
be
12-5, like at least
Yeah.
12-5.
Yeah. The defense is still good. They get
And Rodgers
Jair
is
Alexander.
It's not
like
good, bro. It's okay.
Rodgers is like a
It's
top
good
two
in the regular season,
QB.
bro.
Yeah.
The Packers defense is good in the regular season. That's all that matters.
And Rodgers is really good in the regular season. Like he's back-to-back MVP for a reason.
Yeah. So I still would take
Well,
him.
okay, then
over the
why?
Vikings
Okay,
in a
then
heartbeat.
I'm confused with why Aaron Rodgers was mad. Because like it's been the same thing for so long now. Like the Packers haven't been in the regular season, and they turn out to be frauds every single year. So last season he was getting all mad because he wanted more help, and now that Devonta Adams is gone, and by the way, he signed this extension knowing that Devonta Adams is going to leave. So
Exactly.
That's why I don't understand what Aaron Rodgers is doing. I don't understand where the Packers organization is going. They drafted Jordan Love in anticipation of letting go Aaron Rodgers and rebuilding, but then after 2 seasons with Jordan Love as their backup quarterback, they re-signed Aaron Rodgers to another 4-year deal. So are we just never going to see Jordan Love play? I just don't understand what the direction is here.
So I think the Packers, we know what the Packers did. They were trying to get Aaron Rodgers' replacement, sit him for 5 years, and then have him start so he could be like a well-polished quarterback. But they realized Jordan Love sucks. Like they blatantly told you that Jordan Love sucks because they refused to like move off Rodgers.
Yeah,
Rodgers
now you can't even get a first-round pick for him.
Rodgers is the one I don't understand, like in my opinion, because like he signed this deal knowing Devontae would walk. And if you cared so much about winning and you said, I don't want to be a part of a rebuild, why are you taking over $50 million a year? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. You could have taken a pay cut like Brady does, and then you would have been able to get all the weapons you'd need, and you wouldn't be a part of a rebuild. But it's like, I don't understand him because everything he says he wants, he just did the exact opposite of it. Like, your team got significantly worse this offseason. You're not a contender anymore. You're taking up all your team's money, so your front office can't do anything. Like, I don't even know if they can sign Julio. Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, I honestly don't understand Rodgers' thinking at all.
Yeah, and Colin Cowherd had a.
Okay, but you're gonna blame someone for taking money, bro? You're gonna blame someone for taking the
dude,
money?
It's not about the money. It's about what he
years old.
wants.
Like,
he's not being consistent. Like if he didn't complain last year about not having any help, I'm not gonna be mad at him. Like, okay, he just wants money. That's fine. Like that's who he is. But why is
he never complained about help.
He said that he did not want to be a part of a rebuild, and he wanted to win.
No, he complained about the trust from the management because they drafted Jordan Love. He never complained about help.
That's true.
Like, yeah, he complained about every year in the draft they screw him over. They take players that are like trying to replace him in Jordan Love, or they'll take some useless player on the defensive side of the ball. He always complained about management, not about help.
But in a way, he kind of does complain.
Management
about
is
help.
supposed to get you help, though. So in a way, he is kind of like you're wasting a draft pick on Jordan Love. He's mad because that's not any help to him right now.
Yeah. Like you could go out and draft 4 receivers, but instead they do like stupid draft picks. They don't listen to him. He's like, "Oh, I want this player," and
they don't give him any sort of power. They don't let him have any say. They don't like have him like he doesn't get to say like what he needs, you know. And after all that drama from last year, we all anticipated him leaving this summer, and he decides to stay despite the situation being worse than it was last season.
I think we misjudged him.
Biggest waste of talent in history, man.
No, actually, I genuinely think he just wants attention and money. I thought he was going to make a power play this offseason, and even if he didn't go to Denver, stay and take a pay cut like Brady and go sign a bunch of weapons. Like there were guys on the market, but
yeah,
took all the money and let his best player walk. Like,
yeah, no, but the money would not count under this year. It's an extension, so they can whatever they sign. It would not affect this season because it doesn't. The money doesn't count this year.
Yeah, but
so either way,
like a guy like Devontae.
Tell me what move they've done.
Devontae wanted a long-term deal, not a tag, so it hurt him in the long.
They could have signed Devontae. They could have signed him. Devontae wanted to leave. He wanted out. Like there's a report that said Devontae wanted out. They could have offered him more money than the Raiders, and he could have re-signed under the same cap situation.
Yeah.
They could re-sign both of them.
Yeah. Okay, I'm talking more about Aaron Rodgers here than the Packers organization. Okay, so if you knew that Devontae was going to leave anyway, then why are you staying if you want to win? That's what I'm confused about. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is trying to win. I'm not going to say like he's not working hard or anything like that, But I don't think his main priority is winning at this point.
I don't think so either.
It's not. It's not reflecting.
I totally disagree. Because
How?
I
Like
think
what?
the Packers it's still a great winning situation. The NFC sucks. The Packers have an easy division. Like they still have a really good roster. So
They don't.
They have a
They
great head
regressed.
coach. Yeah,
It's
they
an average
do.
roster.
They still the
Tell me where
still
they
have
are
the top
elite at
10
outside of
O-line.
running back. Tell me where they're elite at outside of running back and
At O-line,
O-line.
elite at,
outside of
they're elite
O-line and running back.
secondary.
Tell me what they're elite at.
Dude, they have two. Dude, they have no. Okay, they're not. They don't have to be elite, but they're top 10 in a lot of areas. They're top 10 in a lot of areas.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's
Only
average. That's
concern-
like
The
average.
defense regressed and the receiving core is sorry.
And they lost to Darius Smith
Pathetically
too.
bad.
I forgot about that.
Darius Smith was hurt the whole year, and their defense still finished in the top 8. Like
Yeah, but-
Darius Smith played like 3 games last year, and Jair Alexander didn't even play last year, and you get him back too. Like Eric Stokes was actually a great draft pick. Like their defense is gonna be fine.
Okay, so
Like,
their defense will be 8 to 10.
Their
Like,
holes is at linebacker.
yeah, so
like,
the defense will be 8
this
to 10.
roster-
That's fair. They're the same defense, but offensively speaking, did you see how Rodgers treated Allen Lazard last year? That's his new best receiver. Like Rodgers refuses to throw to these guys. Now he can only throw to them. Like their offense took
Okay.
2 steps back.
Let's see what they do in the
Aaron
draft.
Rodgers wants to win. He would not come back to the Packers. Period.
Let's see what they
Nah.
do in the draft and the rest of free agency and see how it pans out. Like it's kind of like hard to say right now, but like
That's fair.
compare outside of Denver, like what roster realistically was better than the Packers outside of Denver? Really
Right.
think about that. Outside of Denver's roster, like where Rodgers could have went to, which roster is
Oh.
better?
Okay, Colts. I'd say the Colts have a better roster.
Also the Browns.
Not easily.
The
I wouldn't
Browns
say.
Browns have a better
Okay,
roster.
he goes to the Colts. He goes to the Colts. It's the same thing. It's just like they only got
No.
one weapon too. Yeah, it is.
No, the
it's
receiving
not.
core is better.
The Colts
receiving
are
core-
better.
The O-line's
Not-
better. The
not
running back's
much.
And their
better.
defense is elite, bro.
Okay, he goes to the Colts. They can't drop receivers. They can't sign nobody. They can't
don't
rebuild
need
the
to.
receiving core. All they have is Pittman. How?
Well, they can
Yeah.
draft. They can sign like a few receivers, but Pittman as a one's decent if you have that O-line and Jonathan Taylor, and the defense is
And
better.
also in free agency, they can't get any better. All the good free
Packers
agents
have
are
the
gone.
same thing. The Packers have the same thing. They got 2 good running backs and an elite O-line.
No, the Colts
And
have a
they get
better
Bakhtiari
O-line.
back this
The
year.
Colts have a better O-line than the Packers, a better running back than the Packers, a
That's
better
not
receiving
true
core
at
than the
all.
Packers, and a better defense than the Packers.
Yeah, that's true.
Where on
Receiving core is the one thing where I'm like, okay, it's about the same. But in everywhere else, the Colts are
How
definitely
is the
better.
Colts O-line better? They don't have a left tackle. The Colts don't have a left tackle. The Packers have the
They've
best left tackle in the
historically
league.
been like a top 3 O-line every single year.
The last 2 years, they've been top 3. Even last year when their entire O-line got COVID and got hurt.
Okay, they don't have a left tackle. That's a serious issue. They had Eric Fisher's gone and Costanzo retired. They don't have a left tackle. This is a different O-line.
Well, right
Like,
now
that's
it
a
is,
fact.
but those moves happened after. So if Rodgers would have went, I'm sure things would have gone differently.
No, they can't because they would have no more cap. They would have no money and they'd give up all their assets.
Well, that's the
They
problem with
take
the
a major
Colts in the
cap hit.
first place. Is the Colts didn't have money to make that trade, so they were never actually in consideration for Rodgers.
No, but this idea, I'm just saying this idea that this Packers roster sucks is not true at all.
It doesn't
The Packers
suck,
roster is
it's just
still pretty
mid.
good.
They're not making a Super Bowl. Like I mean, like you said,
Definitely
we
not.
have to see how free agency and the draft pans out. But right now, they are not. I don't even think they're in the NFC Championship. Like
Hell no. I mean,
they could.
They're
They could.
automatically a top 3 NFC team this year, guaranteed.
Well,
'Cause
they're
of how
number
bad
one.
the conference is.
Depending
like-
on Trey Lance, they're 3 or 4.
No,
I'm just saying, like, in terms of options, outside of Denver, the Packers were the second best option to win a championship. So
why was
like,
he bitching last year? That's what I'm confused about.
probably for contract negotiation. Like that's how it works.
Okay,
And
but if he wants money, that's fine. I just don't like how he was mad over not being put on a winning situation. That's what I thought he was mad about. So everyone thought he was going to leave. But no, it turned out to be a contract thing, which is disappointing. You know, Rodgers, if he really wanted to, I he could have probably been the GOAT, and it's tough to see. That's what I'm trying to say.
Nah, he couldn't have been. He definitely could have been up there, though. I'll give you that.
He still is up there.
But so
He is up there. I'm saying he could have, like, you're telling me Rodgers isn't better than Brady as a pure talent?
Oh yeah, obviously, but like,
I mean, like as a physical arm talent, but Brady's different. This matters.
I think Rodgers up here is like just as good, bro.
Nah, because look at his playoff performances. Like we just got to be honest about it.
Okay, but like, it wasn't his fault. This
year I'm not gonna take Rodgers off the hook,
outside
bro.
of this year,
That's true. I'm sure out of the last 8 years, none of it was Rodgers' fault.
Oh no, dude, the Seahawks in 2015, where the whole defense gives up 20 points in a row and the onside kick. The
onside kick, bro.
Sold them. And then against Arizona, they give up like a 90-yard play. So Rodgers has two of the greatest plays of all time, 2 Hail Mary throws from the like cross-armed, sends into OT, and then they give up like an 80-yard play to Larry Fitzgerald to lose.
I definitely.
It's not Rodgers.
We can split hairs, bro. They'd win more rings than 7. They'd probably or 6. They'd probably get 10, bro.
No, that's okay. We can split hairs all you want. This year, Rodgers had the ball in his hands twice into the fourth quarter where he could have just won the game and made first downs. He had 2 3-and-outs in a row.
Hey, I get
playing the special teams if you want.
You're saying it yourself, Matt. You're saying it yourself. The roster's not good. If Rodgers was on the Bucks right now, bro, they'd win it, bro.
Of course. Well, let me put it this way too. If we're talking about the Packers and the Packers roster is so good, you just said the Packers let him down every year for the last 8 years. Why would you stay?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, you said
that's what I'm saying.
It's
a shame. I think he could have been the GOAT if he put himself in better situations.
No,
but because he keeps staying with the Packers, he's always just going to be seen as one of the greats and not the greatest. That's what I'm saying.
No, but what I'm saying is it was the second best option. Like, that's all I'm saying. He gets to stay in the easy division and easy conference. I'm not saying like, oh, the roster of course has let him down, but not last year. The roster didn't let him down last year. It was last year was legit Rodgers' fault, and I think like they can rebuild from that. So
it was not the second best.
Denver, of course.
Go ahead, finish your point.
It was the second best. It was the second best option outside of Denver where he could win.
I would say it's the second best realistic option because of money. Because Denver was the only team who actually could have like took in Rodgers' contract and still signed a guy like, Randy Gregory and DJ Jones. But if we're not talking realistic, like you just throw Rodgers on a roster, I'm still taking a boatload of teams. Like I said, I'll take the Colts. I take
a boatload of teams.
Probably. I
guess I take the Niners technically. I take.
I take the Niners.
All those teams, like they already had quarterbacks. Like Buccaneers had Brady. Who else? Who else you named?
Well,
Niners. They're full into Lance.
I said hypothetically, not realistically, because realistically it doesn't work.
Niners gave up 3 first-round picks for Lance. They have to have him at quarterback next year.
Yeah,
I mean, I would trade. If I'm the Niners, if Rodgers wanted to come to the if Rodgers wanted to come to the Niners, I would have traded Lance for him, probably.
No, yeah, but like they kind of have to.
It'd low-key be really bad, though, because the Lance move would be like 3 firsts, and they'd probably give him like another 3 firsts. So you'd be giving up 6 firsts for 4 years of Rodgers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
3
firsts. If you draft a quarterback, yeah, give him a chance. This is how it works now.
And especially if you trade up. Like, I like Lance. I think he's going to have a good year.
I don't know about that.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Anyways, with all the NFL talk, let's segue into some of our basketball points to close this.
Let's go.
So I know Isaac's really excited, so I'll go to you on this one. So we're going to go over and finish our Western Conference teams 8 through 15 seed. And the current 8th seed is
the most fraudulent franchise in history. Okay. How
can you be a fraudulent franchise if you haven't made the finals? Like,
okay, that's fair.
This is a losing franchise.
I don't know. They've always been
just a losing franchise.
They've always been considered, at least in the past 10 years, a contender, but they made the Western Conference Finals once. So
if Joe audience doesn't cheap shot Kawhi, they win the finals. Okay, go ahead.
To the audience, we're talking about the Los Angeles Clippers. All right. So I'm excited because I think the playing tournament stuff is getting super, super interesting. And like as a Laker fan, it's killing me right now because I can't believe we're at the point where, well, first of all, we're at a 10 seed with LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the roster. And
you're not making the play-in game. You're not making it.
Okay, I see that too. Like I can totally see that happening, and I'm not liking where the Lakers are. But let's focus on the Clippers. All right, today there's a report that came out. Paul George is coming back. There's other reports coming out that Kawhi Leonard might be coming back. I think the Clippers, as much as it pains me to say this, but the Clippers roster is crazy. And a lot of that has to do with how stupid the Blazers are for giving them, what is it, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, and was it someone else or?
No, it was those two in exchange for
Keon Johnson,
Justin Winslow, Eric Bledsoe.
Eric Bledsoe, are you kidding me? Like, I really don't understand. Like, look, getting a guy like Robert Covington, he doesn't have a bag. He's not a great one-on-one defender. Big wings are a must in the NBA now. Everyone is so damn skilled. The only way to counter skill is size at this point. You got to get wings like that. And I don't know why the Blazers gave them away for free. And if you think about it, just the idea of what the Clippers can be, they are a big wing team with a guy like they can play big or small. They can put like Nick Batum sucks, but I think he's a decent small ball 5 because at least he can shoot and he's big. They can.
Oh, look who came around. Okay, no, keep going.
I'm just saying. Okay, I think.
Yo, we're bashing my Nick Batum as a small ball 5 take.
No, I'm still bashing that, bro.
He sucks. He sucks. He just happens to be 6'10" and like can shoot. Like, okay. Cool. But I think the Clippers are this is a great roster. Like, they're very versatile. The one thing I would look to do is trade Reggie Jackson, though. He's good. I wouldn't even say he's good. He looks good against the Lakers.
He makes no money, though. I don't think we should trade him. He doesn't make any money.
Yeah, for the price, he's not bad. I can't even lie.
Yeah.
No, like, it's like what, 10 million a year? That's an asset you can use to trade, you know? So I would consider it. And like pair maybe him and Morris up to get like another star wing. I would consider it. But
I mean, in my opinion, I don't think the Clippers need to make roster moves. I think this is good enough. They just at least for this year as an 8 seed, they got to get healthy. I don't know if they will get healthy. My gut's telling me they won't. But if some magical way that the whole Clippers roster gets healthy right before the playoffs, I think they come out of the West. Like,
even if it's just Paul George, I think they have a good chance to.
Even with Paul George, they have a chance.
Paul George is playing tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so Clippers are trending in the right direction. They have good culture. Ty Lue is a really good coach.
Really good. Like, he's solid.
Ty Lue is a really good coach, and he's proving it this year.
He's pretty good. He's pretty damn good. Because, like,
he's solid.
When you look for a coach, you look for a guy who brings culture and scheme. And did you see, like, last year's playoffs? I know I always say this, but they were down 0-2 in every series, and Ty Lue made these crazy coaching adjustments that just dragged him out the hole. Yeah,
but that's like low-key
good schematically, and he's a good culture guy. So
no, it's not expected. I had to watch Doc Rivers make 0 adjustments for 5 years.
No, that's why.
I can't wait to talk about the Sixers next week when I'm gonna flame the hell out of the Sixers. Bro. They're a fraudulent team. Anyways,
get
on our TikTok, man. Get on the TikTok.
Dude,
frauds, bro.
Not a fraudulent team, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, but do you guys have anything else to say about the Clippers?
I mean, yeah, if Paul George and Kawhi were healthy, bro, I'd take them, like, honestly, like, pretty easily to win the West. But we don't know if they're healthy or not. I still doubt Kawhi is going to come back because this dude always be milking injuries. Like honestly, Matt, like, bro, let's be honest. Like, if you get him back by like 2024, you might be like happy, you know? Like,
no, and it's knees too. Like Kawhi and his knees, because he has arthritis.
Why? Okay, I feel like Kawhi is so goddamn high maintenance, though, bro. He requires so much maintenance, which is kind of annoying, bro. Like, I'm gonna just be honest.
He does, yeah. No, I mean, I just think he cares a lot about his health, so I don't I don't condone him for it because it's what you expected when you signed him. You know what I mean? But because of that, like, part of me doesn't want him or PG to come back, like, to just take the year off and go all in next year. But of course, if they make an appearance, I'm going to be very happy. So,
yeah, but with PG, it's an elbow injury, so I'm like fine with that. Him coming back, you know, he got good rest, like, that's fine. Kawhi, I'm like maybe not, but
yeah,
the reason why I kind of like, I still think like the Clippers with PG still have a shot because I love what the Clippers offense when they run through like Paul George and stuff. I still think I think they can upset some teams in the first round. Like
Absolutely.
they could beat the Grizzlies first round, although I wouldn't pick them.
Oh
They
no.
can beat them.
No. With just Paul
They
George,
can-
I wouldn't say that. I think it's
can.
I don't think it's ridiculous, but I'm taking the Grizzlies in 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I take the Grizzlies, but it's plausible with
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
Paul
okay.
George.
Okay, that's fair.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I still think they can make a run just with Paul George. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
I do think the Grizzlies is a tough matchup for the Clippers, though, because the 2 times we have played them this year, it just felt like a mismatch. But hey, man, I trust in Ty Lue to make good adjustments. But yeah, I mean, as an 8 seed and maybe a 7 seed if the play-in goes well, the Clippers are scary. Like they got to be scary if you're a top seed. Like even if you're Phoenix, like Phoenix last year with Paul George took them to 6 games. And
Wait, okay, but Phoenix, let's be honest, guys. They are very fraudulent.
No, they're not fraud.
Phoenix got better,
They're
but the
frauds.
Clippers roster also got better. So
Frauds.
I see that as like a 7-game series if the Clippers.
They're not fraudulent, bro.
They're fraudulent. Look, they're dependent on culture and scheme, which is amazing, but talent matters more.
Bro, it's because y'all be underrating D-Book. Like
no, I'm off that train. D-Book's showing out.
D-Book's good.
Legit,
he's good. He's good.
Is he a number one? Probably not. But like,
no.
he's like the most elite number 2 you could have.
I think D-Book's more important to that team.
No.
Yeah, he is.
He's a pretty damn good 2, but best 2, no.
Like he's a really elite 2. Like he's like a really like
he's pretty good.
You know,
he's pretty good.
I'm not taking him over like Paul George or Kyrie or Harden yet, but he's there. Like
I'm not taking like he's good, but
he's in the tier for me.
Yeah.
I
don't think the Suns are fraudulent because they definitely got a lot better from last year. But still, like if you're a 1 seed and you have to play the Clippers as an 8 seed and Paul George is healthy and assuming Norman comes back, like that is a tough out. Like especially if PG's in playing shape, like that's a 6-7 game series. We saw it last year. So yeah, I mean, I think that out of the play-in teams, the Clippers are the most interesting just because if they get healthy, they're the one team I could see who could make an upset.
Yeah.
You don't think the Timberwolves can kind of?
Wait, did we talk about the Timberwolves last week? I think they are interesting too.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the Timberwolves they're in that playing range, right? They're like I think the 7th seed right now.
7.
Okay,
so they're also
talk about the Timberwolves. Let's talk about the Timberwolves.
I mean, I think the Timberwolves are kind of legit. I mean, yeah, defensively, I still have massive questions, but at least offensively, like they're kind of scary. You know
what's crazy, Alex? Their defense has been top 10 in the league consistently this year, and a lot of that is because D'Angelo Russell has become. He's like a revelation on defense as a help side defender, which is kind of crazy to say, but he's been unbelievable.
The T-Wolves are balling. They're balling. Like honestly,
they're big. And they got a guy like Cat, who, by my estimation, is the greatest shooting big man of history. Like this guy,
3-point contest champion.
Yeah, he's shooting like step back threes and like he's shooting 10 of them a game. Cat is elite. He's elite. I think he's definitely like a top 3 or 4 center in the league, man. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Elite, bro. And I think their defensive scheme is working. They're big, man. Like you're just getting a guy like Jared Vanderbilt. He doesn't need a bag to be effective, Jaden McDaniels. They just have to be long and they have an impact immediately on defense. They just need to make sure that, like, for them to be successful, they need like Anthony Edwards to be like ridiculous and Cat to go unconscious, which I don't think is ridiculous, given any game. So I think the T-Wolves are also pretty scary,
To an extent. I like the Timberwolves and they're playing really, really well, along with I think the Pelicans are playing well, but we'll talk about them later. But my thing is, when the playoffs start as a 7 or 8 seed, I just don't see them upsetting one of the top seeds. I don't think they can. I think best case scenario, they take them to 6. But I don't know. Like, to me, they're just not a team. Like, if I'm the Suns or I'm the Grizzlies/Warriors, like, I'm not scared if I see them.
I think they can beat the Suns. It's a mismatch.
Dude, you gotta stop
No.
with the Sun slander, man.
Dude,
It's a mismatch. It's a mismatch. And I think they're going to do it through attacking DeAndre Ayton, who is probably one of the most overrated players in the league.
oh yeah, for sure.
That guy cannot guard Karl Anthony Towns. There's no chance.
Bro,
And then
I'm telling you, Chris Paul and Book would obliterate D'Lo
no,
and
I don't think
Edwards.
they'll obliterate them. I don't think they'll obliterate them. They're not like, I don't think the Timberwolves are this fraudulent defense. Like, I actually think they're pretty legit, and they're going to be a consistent top 10 defense for the rest of the season. I mean, they're like they won like their last 9 games out of the past 10 games, they're rolling.
No, that Suns offense is different though. Like if they meet, the Suns are they're gonna bully him offensively.
How?
And we also
How?
do have to take into consideration that like D-Book and CP went through that playoff run last year, and like they had that experience. Like they're gonna play at that level, but we really don't know the Timberwolves because they're so young if they're like ready for that stage.
Yeah, like there's questions, but
I mean, they do got Pat Bev, so maybe
it's a mismatch, And I think it's not ridiculous to think that the T-Wolves have a chance against the Suns if they do play them in round 1.
Yeah, I don't think it's ridiculous, but I'd take the Suns in like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'd say 5. Suns at 5.
I'd say 6 minimum. Like I think the T-Wolves can actually make noise against the Suns.
Hey,
it's an actual mismatch if you really think.
Yeah. Okay, I wouldn't say total mismatch, but I get where you're coming from. But like, I think
they have guys that
I don't think they can have enough.
Struggle against, like long, mobile defenders. And CP's
like
greatest weakness is his height, And like, even if you want to play small, just put Patrick Beverly on him, getting in his head and stuff like that.
Yeah, Timberwolves might win because they got my guy Pat.
No, I think the Timberwolves
okay, you're completely disregarding what I said for the past like 5 minutes, but I just think they're pretty damn good.
No, they're good. I just think they're probably like a year or two away, a couple more pieces away. They need Anthony Edwards to develop into that like 22 to 25 points per game elite scorer, which I think he can be.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just a couple years away. They just really, I mean, do I love them paying D'Angelo that much money? No, but he's pretty good. I mean, he's good enough, I guess. Like I would like them to sign a couple more pieces and really fill out that roster a little bit more, because the roster, like, although like I like some of their guys, it's still not comparable to like some of the rosters outside of like their main three guys compared to like the rosters in the West, like like the contenders in the West. A lot of their rosters and their bench are a lot more filled out compared to the Timberwolves. Although I do like some of their guys.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Timberwolves for me, I'm gonna guess they play the Suns and they lose in 5. Because I think they'll get the 8 spot, assuming Paul George stays healthy. So I'd assume we'd have that, and then we'd have the Clippers-Memphis matchup, which would be really.
Dude, I think the Timberwolves and it's not a guarantee that the Clippers will win with Paul George.
No, I'm completely assuming. It could be the other way around. It could be Clippers.
Oh, okay, got it.
Look, I'm still not ruling out the Lakers, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
With that,
should we go over the Pelicans or the Lakers first?
Let's move on to our 9th seed, which
we can talk about the Pelicans real quick, okay? Look, CJ BI, cool, great. Outside of that, Zion, get your ass in shape. I don't know what else to say. Valanciunas is cool. Dude, Trey Murphy he's a god against the Lakers. Anyways, I don't like what the Pelicans are doing. They stink. A lot of it is because Zion is so fat, but like, I don't know. They're cool.
Yeah, what's with you two and personally attacking Zion? We got this guy over.
What do you mean? This guy Zion is legit.
He's a nutritionist,
like a top 20 player right now, and this guy can't get his ass in shape, bro. Like, if I was Zion Williamson, I'd be working my ass off to get in shape, bro. And he missed an entire season because he's fat. Are you serious?
You know why? You know what I heard about? You know what I heard, Isaac? This has got to be like the funniest thing I ever heard, bro. They were saying the Pelicans the best fit for Chet Holmgren is the Pelicans. So Zion could take Chet Holmgren under his wing so he could bulk up and shit.
Hey, that's actually not a bad idea. That's not I see.
These guys gotta go to McDonald's after the game, man.
Like Zion, man, this guy Zion is actually driving me crazy because, man, this guy he's generational, dude. Like, what he can do. He's probably, if he played consistently, I probably say he's the greatest rim finisher in history, and that's just from seeing like one season, which was last year. And to see that he can't be healthy because he's fat is just so discouraging.
Yeah. And like for me, I don't understand his thinking too. Like if I was Zion, #1 pick out of Duke, like people saying I'm the next LeBron, and I'm sitting here on the
is
couch,
playing just good too. Like
I'm watching Ja be an MVP candidate pre-injury. I'm like, as a 2 seed, and like you're still not willing to take that next step. Like,
yeah,
I think Alex said this, but we got.
I think it's arguable that Zion's a bust.
Oh, okay, no, he's not a bust. Dude,
not yet. Not yet.
He missed out on John Morant.
Okay, maybe because of that, but like last year he still averaged like 24 games on 61% shooting and had like a top 10 PR in the league. Like
no.
He was arguably like a top 20 player.
I'm not denying the talent, but when you don't play, it doesn't matter. It doesn't.
That's true.
And
it reminds me of
you miss out on John Morant, bro. Like it's tough,
True. Zion not playing reminds me of a special guy who also doesn't play. So I guess with that we can lead into our 10 seed, which would be the Los Angeles Lakers.
What, Disney?
My God. I don't want to talk about the Lakers. I hate this team so much. I can't stand it anymore. There's just so many damn problems with this team.
They're still good in 2K, I mean.
Okay, but the one encouraging thing that I think has been happening is Russell Westbrook and LeBron. I actually think it's possible to work. Like, I don't think we're losing because of Russell Westbrook. It's because
and you're still in that stage.
I mean, when you watch the games, Russell Westbrook's been good, and I do think Russell Westbrook and LeBron can play together. Like, I don't think it's a fit issue at this point. At this point, the roster is just too bad. We don't have any wing depth. We don't have any like everyone we have is washed. Defense is our main issue right now. And it's just tough because we have to rely on Stanley Johnson and Wenyen Gabriel. And because they're so it's Stanley Johnson and Wenyen Gabriel. Like, what do you expect, That's a big reason why the Lakers can't get it going because the roster is so bad, No, that's what
Westbrook is definitely part of the issue, bro. Westbrook is definitely the part of the issue, bro.
Throughout the year, yes. But I think in this recent run, I think Westbrook has gotten it going. Like, I don't think he's the biggest issue here. I think
he's still one of the 5 worst defenders in the league, bro. He's horrible defensively.
Westbrook has stepped up. He has stepped up defensively. He's actually stepped up defensively. I'm not going to say that anymore. I actually think
defense looking really good, Isaac.
Dog, I'm not changing my opinion off of one moment. And that was when he wasn't good. I'm talking about after that Toronto miracle. I don't know how he did that crap, but
no.
Since then, Westbrook's pretty damn good. I'm not.
Alex said no.
But I still don't want him on the team next year. Like, don't get it twisted. I just think he's been playing better. I think he's been playing better. We need AD back. LeBron's hurt, which isn't good. So everything is falling apart. It's just tough to see, man. What a waste of a MVP season from LeBron at 37 years old. But this is how it is.
Why you gotta throw that in there? Why you gotta throw that in there? We ain't talking about that.
What?
What a almost MVP season by a 37-year-old. We ain't talking about that.
I mean, let's be honest though. Like, Lakers season is not over. Like, they go in the playing game. They still have LeBron and Anthony Davis. Like,
okay,
I would never count those
getting
two
to
out.
that point is so difficult. If you see the Lakers schedule for the rest of the season, they have to beat out the Spurs, and the Spurs have one of the easiest schedules in the league. So tonight they play the Mavericks, and I don't think LeBron is playing that game. Then they play the Utah Jazz and then the Pelicans. Hopefully AD comes back to one of these 2 games and LeBron. Then it goes Nuggets, Suns, Warriors, Thunder, then Nuggets again.
Okay,
Warriors, you get making the play-in game. It's a wrap.
I'm not going to say it's a wrap, but it's going to be really tough. Because the Spurs, you want to see who they play, bro? They play the Grizzlies, the Trailblazers back-to-back.
Oh.
The Nuggets, Timberwolves, and then the Warriors.
They could lose a lot of these.
Yeah, they could lose 4 out of the 6. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I don't know, man.
Dude, it's
the Warriors haven't been good, man. They don't have Curry. They're not a good team right now.
Oh, don't get me started on that. You guys absolutely slandering Curry and Steve Kerr, man. Steve Kerr.
When have I ever slandered Curry? When have I ever slandered Curry?
Bro. Last podcast, you guys were talking about how Curry wouldn't be good without Steve Kerr's system. The most ridiculous.
No. He would still be good, but Steve Kerr it was a big part of how basketball changed. You see how the way they play isn't because of Curry. It's because Steve Kerr is a basketball genius, bro.
Really? Because I couldn't tell since Curry got hurt.
Okay,
obviously they're gonna lose when they don't have Curry, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah, because Curry's that guy.
No, but what me and Isaac were saying, Curry can't like carry a team like a LeBron or like a KD or like
Curry cannot
creating by himself,
bro.
Replay.
Bro, do you guys remember the Mark Jackson team? Come on, man. That was pre-Steve Kerr. You saw what Curry was doing?
They had Draymond. It's just Mark Jackson's an idiot, and he played David Lee over him. But Steve Kerr
carried that
probably
team.
The first coach who invented small ball.
There's a reason why that team lost in the first round. It's because they didn't have Steve Kerr. Because all they wanted to do was feed the post they didn't want to move the ball.
They just did isolation stuff, which Curry isn't that good at. Or he is good, but he's not elite at isolation. Yeah. Steve Kerr turned Curry into an off-ball god. Like
I've
never seen an off-ball player who like scares the defense as much as Curry.
Bro, Curry, a lot of that is because guy with Mark Jackson.
Kerr changed the way the Golden State Warriors play.
Bro, but Curry was still that guy with Mark Jackson. Like, I you can put Curry on any team, he's still that guy.
No. If you put him on a lot of different teams, he would not be as good as he is with the Warriors.
We're back at this again. I have a fun little stat for you guys.
Dude, don't look at stats. Watch the game.
The Warriors without Steph Curry in the last 4 years have a .23 winning percentage, which is less than a fourth.
Yeah, obviously you need Curry to win. Obviously you need Curry to win. When the system is built around Curry, you need him to win.
Yeah.
It's built around the Draymond Curry 2-man game.
Clay 3-man game.
No, but Clay is not part of this, bro.
Yeah.
Clay is not built around
off the ball.
No, to a degree he is.
Yeah, he's definitely part of the system, and he fits it.
Okay, but you get further with what system? Like, what does he do that changes the offense like that?
Spot up shooting, defense.
Spot up shooting.
Runs off the ball.
That's not building an offense around a guy.
No, but he's like a part of it.
No, but when Clay's out there, there's even more ball movement. There's even more. Yeah. Like it just takes it to another level. That's why I say he's still a part of it. But
no. I'm not discounting what Klay Thompson brings to the table, but the system to its heart is Curry and Draymond. Period. And then Clay is just another guy who can elevate it.
Yeah, well, actually, at the same time, we just saw Draymond who was hurt for like 10 games or so. So we saw
they haven't been good.
No, they were still over 500. But then as soon as Curry's out,
they haven't been good though, bro.
They're dead without Curry. They can still perform without Draymond.
Well, we're not saying Curry's like trash or anything. We're just saying Steve Kerr has a major impact in like Steph Curry's career. Like Steph Curry's still a top 5 player.
Okay. I'm okay with that. If you're gonna say he had an impact in Curry's career, that's okay. But
that's what we've been
saying. It's not contingent on it. Like Curry's still successful without Steve Kerr. 100%.
Yeah, but not to this extent.
Not to this extent.
Okay, that's fair. I'm okay. I can say that.
That's what we've been saying, bro.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree with that point, but it's not like contingent on it. You can say Steve Kerr makes Curry takes him to a different level, but if you take Curry right now and you throw him on the Cavs, he's still dropping 30, 35 a game.
Cavs are good.
He's not dropping 35 a game on the Cavs.
Okay, he can drop 35 a game on the Cavs, but it's not going to be it's not going to be a winning 35. Sadiq Bey dropped 51. Oh, did they win that game? Okay, but anyways,
I don't even know.
People.
No, dude, you put Curry.
Anyone can get stats now. It's about how you get them.
It's still Curry's going to win games with the Cavs, and he's going to make the playoffs and contend 100%.
Yeah, but if they do that, he cannot average 35 a game. If they want to win. If you play Curry and he's trying to get 35 a game on the Cavs, they're not winning. But
27. If he dropped 27 a game on the Cavs, they're contenders. 35 was definitely a stretch because I don't think we've ever seen a championship team.
But the Cavs roster is also pretty damn good. So it's
I know. I just impulsively.
I was just saying, if you put him on the Pistons,
we're so used to the Cavs being trash.
I was just saying, if you put him on the Pistons, he can't carry the Pistons. But if you put KD or LeBron on the Pistons, I think they could probably do it.
I 100% agree with that. Curry's not a floor raiser. He's not. He's not a floor.
No. You put Curry on the Pistons, he elevates them just as much as LeBron and KD.
Hell no.
No.
Absolutely.
LeBron and Kevin Durant.
I would say LeBron would elevate the Pistons higher than KD and Curry, but I'd say KD and Curry would elevate them the same.
No.
Yeah.
Dude,
No.
Kevin Durant is he's arguably the greatest isolation player in NBA history, bro.
Yeah, but I don't think he makes guys around him better. I'd say Curry actually makes guys around him better than like KD would.
No, I think the system, the
system
worst
makes Curry
system,
look a lot
yeah.
better, bro.
Yeah, but if like let's be honest, if Curry goes to the Pistons, they're honestly gonna build a system around Curry. Like obviously, they're gonna run more off-ball screens. They're gonna get Curry separation. Like they're gonna do it. If you put KD there, KD's gonna get you an efficient 30, but the rest of the team won't like pull any weight. So I mean, they're not gonna win the game.
But KD's such an offensive threat that by default, all the other players are just gonna have a lot more space to work with.
Yeah, well, Curry demands a double team at like half court. Like, you don't think that's gonna space out the floor?
Yeah, but they don't got. But like they don't. Well, I'm just looking at from the Pistons standpoint. The Pistons just need guys that can just go. Like you put him on like Curry on the Pistons. Like we're like, yeah, who's gonna what? How is Curry gonna play off ball on the Pistons? Like how is Curry?
Yeah,
gonna
you need
He can play off Cade,
you need
for sure.
playmakers, and you need a scheme. Kevin Durant,
Yeah.
LeBron James don't need no scheme.
Yeah, they could
bro.
just go.
Give them the ball, and then they'll figure stuff out for you.
Yeah, but like it doesn't
And
matter.
honestly, and Luka
If you
Doncic,
get
I would put
Curry-
Luka Doncic like almost there. But go ahead.
I'd agree with that. I don't think you need a scheme for Luka. No, but if Curry goes to any team, that team automatically would make a scheme around Curry because that's like would make you a better team.
Yeah, but
we're saying you can't with the
ball depends
current
on
roster.
the players being good.
Yeah. Like
No,
they
yeah,
don't
I get
have the
that.
personnel. They don't have the personnel to
No,
do
I think
that
the
with
Pistons
Curry.
have the personnel to like make a playoffs with Curry. Like I don't think they get
Dude,
any.
none of those guys on the Pistons are as close to the passer, playmaker, and screener that Draymond is.
100%. I'm not arguing that, but you guys are saying like if I were to put like KD on the Pistons and Curry on the Pistons, I'd say they have the same record.
No.
Maybe, but given like I think for a one game situation, for a playoff situation, like if we put the Pistons versus like the Celtics or something like that, I think Kevin Durant gives you a way better chance than Curry does.
Okay, well that wasn't the question. If you say that, well, I'll take Kevin Durant over any person in the world because KD's like ridiculously clutch. And
regular season, so many things can happen. Given a playoff scenario where you have to beat teams game by game, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, even maybe Luka Doncic, you don't need them to have a great team for them to be successful and lead you to win. But Curry is kind of dependent on good.
You changed the subject, but yeah, if you're gonna say like a playoff 7-game series, who do I want? Then yeah, obviously I'm taking KD 1. I don't know if I take LeBron 2 at his age, but yeah, LeBron ahead of Curry for sure. But
yeah, to win a single game.
We got extremely off topic, so let's get back to the Lakers here as the 10 seed.
On the Lakers.
I forgot where we left off. Anyone want to take it off?
AD need to come back, bro. Like
the Lakers definitely need Anthony Davis for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this season could be a wash, but I also have questions for the Lakers going from this year because you're not getting off that Westbrook contract, bro. Dude. You might have to give up like 10 first-round picks to get off that contract.
Yeah, I mean, this is not looking good. I don't want to talk about how to get off the Westbrook contract because that's beyond me, you, and Matt because we don't know what's happening in front offices. But just in terms of like on the court stuff, AD needs to come back. The Lakers are so dumb in making this roster. They have so many guards that are like below 6'5", and they're now missing. They have one center on the team, and then no wings. It's just not a good roster at all. Like Rob Pelinka really messed up. You had a championship roster 2 years ago, and then within 2 years, now we're in the 10 seed. So it's kind of unfortunate.
I mean, hey man, you were the guy telling me that this was the greatest roster ever assembled. I'll never forget it.
No. I did not say the greatest roster. I said the most talented roster. Talent.
Yeah, you were saying the Lakers shoe in to win the championship.
Yeah, and that was my mistake. I didn't realize that
Shoe in.
none of these guys can.
You said shoe in to win a championship.
I did not say shoe in. I did say they're the best team in the West, though. I did say by far the best.
You said you win a championship.
Okay, yeah, obviously I'm gonna be like, dude, just give us a chip. Like, I'm joking, bro.
Hey, I tried to tell you. I warned you from the start. I said this wasn't gonna work, and you and the Laker cult were coming at me. I said, hey, It's not
I
gonna
think
work.
the most
I think
like,
Westbrook
biggest
can
mistake.
work, but the team needs to be better.
Okay, bro. If this
But
dude
go ahead.
switches sides like every month. Okay, but I think like one of the like business mistakes, like low-key an underrated mistake the Lakers made, they should have kept Caruso instead of THT.
Yeah,
I think that could have been
100%.
all avoided if they just didn't trade for Westbrook altogether.
Yeah,
Well,
you could
yeah,
have got
but I'm just
DeRozan. I mean,
No, I
well, yeah,
actually
I'm
think
just
if you
saying.
think about getting DeRozan, it's actually kind of unrealistic, given the
all
cap.
right. Well, Buddy Hield would have been a better fit.
No doubt.
Yeah,
And you would have
And you
given up
could have
less,
left.
and you could have kept Caruso, which is
yeah, facts.
really
Yeah,
tough.
that would have been a big move. Anyways, with that, we can move on to the 11th team in the West, which is the San Antonio Spurs. I know we touched on them a bit earlier, but was there any thoughts? I know we talked about their schedule, but any overall thoughts?
Dude, they're not good. I don't know what else to say. They're not good. They have promising players, but they're just not a good team right now. Period. Jakob Poeltl's good. DeJounte Murray's pretty good. Keldon Johnson shows promise. Lonnie Walker shows promise, but like this team is rebuilding. You know, they're not good. Like I
It's
don't
kind
know.
of a depressing roster, honestly.
Very nothing exciting. You know,
There's just no one like that good, if that makes any weird sense. Like,
DeJounte is nice, but it's like there's no upside. You can't win now. It's like you're in like middle ground for like the next 5 years. Like you're in no man's land.
no,
like,
they are
5
young
years.
though. They are really young.
Yeah,
Outside
but
of
none
like
of the
tournament.
yeah, they're young, but I don't really like a lot of their young pieces too, like that much. You know what I mean? Like they're cool, but they're like, you
Yeah,
know,
this draft, considering how good this draft is, picking Josh Primo 12th overall, one of the
horrendous mistake.
That's a
Oh
terrible
my
pick.
god.
And also, he
Oh
was
my-
projected like second round too. Like if you really wanted, you could just trade down. Terrible.
They've like low key missed on a couple picks like these past couple years. Like what's that other Samanic?
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Took him in the first round like 2 years ago too. Like they've missed on like the past like 3. Lucas Samanic or some shit. Yeah, they took him in the first round a couple years ago.
Who?
Yeah,
Lucas.
he literally. Yeah, they literally.
Oh
haven't
yeah, I don't
played.
even. He hasn't even. Oh, he's played.
Yeah, not much.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't even know
they've
this guy
missed-
existed.
Yeah, they've missed on draft like first round draft picks the past couple years. Like it's
Yeah,
not
Devin
the old Spurs
Vassell,
where they're
11th
just
overall. Are you
yeah,
serious?
they've missed 3 years in a row. Like it's not like 10 years ago when they were like hitting on every first round pick, like Kawhi, you know, DeJounte in like the 29th pick, you know, like they've low-key like been kind of
Ginobili like last pick.
but it's not the same. It's just not the same with the Spurs,
yeah,
you know?
I like the way you put that. There really is no man's land. It's like, yes, you have young talent, but like, do they really have the upside to make you a contender? You're like, no. But like, what are you gonna do now? You know?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it will change when Popovich leaves, which he's gonna leave after this year. He's gonna retire.
Yeah.
So they can finally play some updated basketball. This dude Popovich still plays like the same brand of basketball, Tim Duncan, bro. He's gonna retire.
Did win like 5 chips with it, but anyways,
Well, in
Because they
this
had Tim
in this
Duncan.
era, it's different, bro. It's different.
yeah, the Spurs need a complete like rebrand.
Yeah. And like
Anyway.
just for basketball, I'm a Lakers fan. I hope the Lakers make the play-in tournament. No one wants to watch would you rather see Anthony Davis play a play-in tournament back in New Orleans, you know? Or would you see the Spurs, you know?
Me personally, Spurs, just so I can laugh at Laker fans.
No, come on, man. Dude.
That's
No
not
one's
good for
watching that.
basketball. LeBron James just in the playoffs with Anthony Davis is not good for
Dude, I
basketball.
bet the
When can you
Spurs
have-
fans don't even
When you
wanna
can
watch
have
that, bro.
Anthony Davis playing in a play-in tournament against the Pelicans at home.
Dude, but like imagine like, you know, all the old head like MJ supporters and can be like, hey, MJ would never miss the playoffs, man.
LeBron already missed the playoffs, bro.
I know, but in year 37, 19.
Yeah. But I really don't like as a basketball fan, I just don't want to see the Spurs in the play-in tournament, dude. Like it's going to be like, I don't want the Pelicans to be in the 8th. Like, I don't want them to like, yeah, I just don't want the Spurs to be in it. They're just not that good, man. They're not.
All right. And with that, let's move on to the 12th team, which would be the Portland Trailblazers.
Okay. This season's a wash, but do you guys have any opinions on Damian Lillard and what he should do?
I mean,
Just as an organization.
let's see what they do this offseason. I mean, they have cap space, they have picks. Like, they can like kind of rebuild this roster. I mean, but like if I'm Damian Lillard, like I'm trying to seek a better situation. If I'm being honest, like the Blazers just kept bringing back the same team for like 6 years and hoping it'd work. And they gave up 2 first-round picks for Covington one year, and they thought, oh, we're like instant title contenders. Like it just like never made sense to me. Like maybe give it one more year, but to be honest, like I'm not trying to see Dame in Portland. Like I'm trying to see him in like in a better situation, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. In my opinion, for Dame's career, he should leave. Portland is just, like he said, they brought back the same team. I guess they want to rebuild between him and Onfree, and I do really like Onfree, but like Dame should leave. But you want my honest opinion, I don't think Dame will leave. Simons, sorry. Anfree Simons.
Anthony Simons.
I said this. Anyways, but yeah, Dame should leave. But if you want my honest take, Dame's not gonna leave. I think he's gonna retire a Trailblazer. I think he just
please no.
I know that's what my gut's telling me. He just strikes me as
you guys see the roster. It's really sad.
I know,
but they have cap space and picks.
They do.
Like
they're in a rebuild.
They don't have like I think whatever Woj like put out, it was kind of incorrect. He said that they have $60 million in cap space. That's false. They actually have like 30. It's not even that much, you know.
Who are they paying?
Lillard. And
are you
Nurkic.
Sure?
Yeah.
Nurkic is making like 11 though. Nurkic isn't making that much. They really should trade Nurkic too.
Yeah, Nurkic is awful.
Nurkic
Ever since the bubble, this guy
winning basketball.
Fired, bro. Yeah, facts.
Yeah. They need a rim running center that can protect the rim and guard pick and rolls, bro. Like,
I mean, they need
how it is in the playoffs.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't believe they traded Keon Johnson. Like, I don't know what they were doing there. And Eric Bledsoe.
I don't know. Just get off their contracts, probably. Get off Norman Powell's 20 a year. Get off.
That's true.
Larry Nance's contract too with the Pelicans trade. You know.
That's true.
Yeah, honestly though, I think Portland made the right move blowing up the roster. Like after 6 years of running it back, like.
Yeah.
But I mean, with CJ and like other foundational pieces leaving, like I would think that you want more for that. You know, more than that.
I think they just want room to work because like right now their roster just looks weird because it's like, I mean, you got like Joe Ingles and Eric Bledsoe and like Nurkic, and then you got like Josh Hart and Justice Winslow. Like I don't know, it's just kind of weird.
I don't think anyone will be back though, besides Josh Hart. If
definitely
I'm being
not.
honest. Yeah,
I think everyone in the locker room knows that, which probably makes it weirder. But
like
they need to lose.
Trying to go to Portland. Like I don't know anyone who wants to go to Portland.
I mean, they have enough assets probably to trade for Beal. They have the assets, and then you could sign someone.
That's what a lot of reports are saying. That
they have the assets.
How is that situation? Like Beal is an upgrade over CG McCollum, but the roster isn't going to be that good. So you're kind of in the same situation. You're going to be like a 6 seed and make the second round maybe and lose again. Like you're just never going to be a title contender. Never.
Yeah. But they have enough where it's like they can definitely like be a playoff team next year. Like they have like enough assets to like, you know, get a couple pieces, get a couple players, which honestly making the playoffs is like good enough for the city of Portland.
And tough. All right. With that, let's move on to the next team, which would be the Kings.
Oh,
I told you, Alex. Matt and I were on this. That Sabonis Tyrese Halliburton trade, horrendous. They're literally the same team, and you lose a young guard.
Okay, like honestly, like I'll take the L, bro. Like the Kings just suck, bro. Like honestly, like I hate the Kings, bro. Like, dude, like I thought it could kind of work between Sabonis and Fox, but like no, it just like Fox just does not play winning basketball. Like, and you're paying him $35 million per year. Like, if I'm the Kings this offseason, I'm trying to get off that contract. I'm being honest, but they're not. They're probably going to try to like, since they got their new piece, their game changing piece in Sabonis. Like, they're probably just going to try to like keep developing this roster. I just don't know. I just hate the Kings, man.
Yeah, I'm with you. Thanks for admitting that you were wrong, but the Kings suck. Anyways, next we got the Thunder. Anyone have any wise words about the Thunder?
Hey, I actually think the Thunder are heading in the right direction, personally.
Yeah, facts.
They actually have a pretty good team. Well, I won't say they have a good team, but they have good players, you know. And if they can all put it together, I think this team can be really good. You know, they have a culture there too. They have assets.
Yeah.
It's good.
And they'll have a top
Good
pick.
situation.
They'll have a top pick too. They'll have a top pick.
Yeah.
They can really.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. It's a rebuild. And they got some young talent. They just need some years.
Yeah.
There's not much more.
Gideon Shea, bro. Gideon Shea.
Dude, I love Shea.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
I was so sad when he left.
I think Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he's underrated, man. Like, I think he's in that top 30, 25 range as a player. You know?
They're around there. Yeah.
He's really good.
And then Josh Giddey.
I've always loved him.
Better. Yeah.
Facts.
Lou Dort.
But yeah. So with that, we get to our last team of today's podcast, which is the Rockets. Any wise words about the Rockets?
I think it's the Rockets honestly have talent. I just think there's like just some cultural issues. Like they have talent, like, but for some reason, I just feel like guys like Christian Wood and like Kevin Porter Jr. Like I really like those two players, but like they're kind of like head case.
Yeah.
Like they should not be, like. I think there's just like cultural issues. Like I think they need to bring in a new coach, maybe like get off one of these players. But like they have some like talent. I just think there's like cultural issues.
Man, I'm 100% with you there. I feel like the Rockets should be way better than they are. Like they got some young talent, but they just like there's something going on that just doesn't make sense, you know? So yeah. I'm with you there. Like if I'm the Rockets, I would just keep building, and new coach, definitely. I don't know. They need like a culture shock. I'm kind of with you there. I don't know which direction you take it, but
yeah.
I
think one thing's
probably trade Christian Wood.
Yeah, I would. And Steven Silas, bro. Whenever I see the Rockets play, it's the same isolation AAU basketball crap, you know. And I do think
totally
it is a part of culture. And also, I just think like they have way too many guards. It's like a similar issue to the Lakers. They have this kind of team can't win an NBA anymore. You got to have size, you know. And when your front court is, what is it? Kevin Porter Jr.
Sengun's kind of nice, bro.
Okay, cool. He's like their one good big outside of Christian Wood. Like they have talent, but you need guys who can fill roles to win the NBA, you know, win in the NBA. You don't need just talent. You need role players. And they don't really have that, you know, and it doesn't help that they're still paying John Wall. Which is crazy. I totally forgot John Wall's on the team.
I think they just got to keep building. Eventually things will click. Eventually John Wall like somehow move off of him.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Anyways, with that wraps up our podcast for season 2, episode 1. Thank you for listening. Did you guys have anything else to share?
No. Just please be light on the Lakers clowning this year. That's all I have to say.
All right. Make sure to follow our social medias and just support us heading forward. And we will be dropping episodes every Wednesday as always. So thank you for listening.